Holy smokes. That's making me crazy.
But it must be the New Yorker in us. We screw it
Yeah,
all up.
that's where I grew up. Where what part of New York you from?
Born in the Bronx, raised in Queens.
All right, that's my wife and that's my father-in-law. Oh, she was born in Brooklyn, but she's from Queens.
It's all the
So
same.
yeah. Um, wow, I don't know. What did you end up downloading onto your phone?
No, it actually connected after like the sixth try on my computer.
I don't know. I never had this trouble before, but who
Well,
knows?
it's
I pulled up my old computer. My other computer is really old, so I pulled up this other one and my son running, and they're the ones that know about computers. I used to, not anymore.
No,
Uh,
I'm a dinosaur. I still take hand notes. Yeah, you see,
yeah, I'm with you. What I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna pull up some of your. I had everything all set up with photographs and all. So if you guys could just bear with me for a second, I just want to like
come on, you're gonna scare them with photographs now.
scare. My God, I mean you're with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno. I mean, come on. I mean,
I'm
um,
I'm still bigger than both of them.
that's pretty funny.
At least I like
Uh,
to think so.
well, I'm going with you because I've never met either one of them, so I don't know. Um, all right, I just got. Let's get one more picture here. Okay. I mean, I've been doing some research on you. I mean, you're a pretty amazing guy. I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't know about that.
I do. I mean, you've written some books. You've been on different television shows. I mean, you've got. I don't have my notes in front of me now, but I mean, you've been recognized by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then you received an award at the same time as Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah,
I mean, I
I've
mean,
been blessed. I've been blessed.
yes, sir, yes, sir. And you were explain us a little bit. You were diagnosed with MS when you were 47.
47 years old and 2006. And it was a big mess because they weren't sure what was going on. They were misdiagnosing me. They wanted to operate, and after 5 days, they finally said, this is MS. And
Misdiagnosed as in telling you had brain cancer,
yeah.
no?
Well, originally they thought it was a brain tumor. And then they started looking at it and said, no, this could be brain cancer. We need to remove this now
Wow.
or you're going to die. And,
With with
talk about a misdiagnosis.
with 100% chance of some paralysis and a
Yeah,
50% chance of death.
yeah, yeah. I said that doesn't work for me. I'll take my chances on not getting the operation, and we'll see what happens.
So up until then, you've been working out pretty much your whole life, eating healthy, following a good lifestyle,
Yep.
and
Yeah, basically for all the years before, probably 30 of those, I was bodybuilding. Before that, I was a fighter. I was martial arts. The typical New York guy that's from the streets, always looking to keep themselves healthy and be able to beat up the next guy that wants to fight with you. But, I got into bodybuilding, did that for many years, up until the diagnosis with MS.
so tell me about your diagnosis. What happened? What precipitated it? You had some shoulder pain, if I remember right.
Yeah, it's funny. I was at a new neurologist today, and I was telling him the story. And I walked into his office. He said, "Man, you're a pretty famous guy with MS." So I went through the whole thing. So I'll do it again for the second time today. But
Please.
I was working out, and my left arm started to go numb. And then all of a sudden it was like shooting pain and then tingling. I couldn't move my fingers correctly. It was a nightmare. I thought originally I was having a heart attack, but there was no pain in the chest and there was no shortness of breath. So I said, oh, I probably pinched a nerve in my neck or my back, and I ignored it. As days went by, it started to radiate from the shoulder down into my chest and then going down my back, my front, my legs. And before you knew it, I could barely coordinate or walk. And I was pretty much paralyzed from, I'd say, about here down.
For how long?
It was several weeks before I gave in, and I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, we have to rush you into a hospital because this is something really bad. He put me in an MRI, and that's where he thought I had a brain tumor, and they rushed me in at that point. But I had been, I went to the pool, and my kids had to pull me out of the pool because I couldn't feel my legs. And, being that stubborn type of guy that I've always am, and I just ignored it.
Yep.
The sad thing about that, Ron, is that the stupidity of being that stubborn caused me irreversible damage from that attack. If I would have gone in probably within the first few days, a week of that attack, maybe some of this paralysis and numbness and things that I've had would not have perpetuated beyond that time. But there was so much damage, there was nothing that could be done.
Did they give you steroids at that point?
Yeah,
IV
yeah,
steroids?
5 days, yeah. Solomedrol and the whole thing.
Medrol, yeah, not the other stick. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And up until then, healthy as a horse.
From what I thought, but according to the doctors, they said that I had MS probably 10 to 15 years, based on the age of the lesions in my brain and my spine. There were some, telltale signs over the years, some stumbling, some slurred speech, some tingling here and there. A couple of times I had that optic neuritis in my left eye. But whenever I went to a doctor, they said, oh, you're a fighter and you've got boxer's brain and you're getting the results of being hit so many times that you're slurring your speech and you're losing your balance. Nothing we can do about it. And until that attack at 47 years old, no idea that I had MS.
Wow. And what did you change? Because it was an incredible diagnosis. To get this is like a punch in the face, excuse me for, but you took a different approach. I mean, like you explain a little bit.
Well, not originally. Originally, it hit me like a ton of bricks because I said to the doctor, and I put this in my book, David's Goliath, which is really my journey, and I talk about that. But I said to the doctor, I would rather die.
David Goliath, that's on Amazon.
Goliath, yeah. So that's a book. You could find that on Amazon as well, and it tells the story of the diagnosis and what I did from that point. But I looked at the doctor when he said, you have MS, it's an incurable disease. I had no idea what MS it was. He was telling me, I hate to tell you, but you will be in a wheelchair very, very shortly because of the damage that was done. And I said to him, you know something, doc? I'd rather have had cancer and died than have this disease. That's the way I thought. And I left the hospital starting to do my investigation about the disease. And everything that I found was so negative, I literally just wanted to die.
Right.
So the first year was the battle of my life's over, I can never do anything, and the poor pity party that you do for yourself at the beginning. And then one day I just, it was about a year, a little bit more than a year after, I had friends telling me, whittling away to nothing. At that time, when I was diagnosed, I weighed in the 190s, and I was, wasn't competing anymore, anything like that, but I was in really good shape.
Right.
When the diagnosis hit and I stopped training and I didn't eat right, I went down to 160 pounds. So I lost about 35 pounds of solid muscle. Wow. And my friends kept telling me, you've got to get back in the gym. And then one day I woke up and I said, you know what? They're right. I'm going to do this. And within a couple of months of that, I said, I'm going to compete in a bodybuilding competition now because, I'm going to take this one step further.
And you did.
Yep, I did.
Right. I mean, a lot of people say a lot of things, but it's very few follow. So how old were you when you competed?
50.
50. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And along the way, I wanted to do it again.
Yes.
But I kept injuring myself because I was pushing myself too much. And I would tear, I had torn my pec already. So I competed at 50 with a torn pec. It looked terrible. And you can't really see it in that picture that you have of me with the trophy. You could see a slight tear in the left pec over here on the, you see it there, but on the opposite pec, it's literally torn in half, and I
Ah,
could not repair it.
wow.
After I looked at myself, and you know, you got to remember, I had not trained to compete in 25 years.
Okay.
So I wasn't as striated. I didn't have the muscle mass. I only weighed about 175 pounds in that picture.
Wow.
And with the tear, I just felt, you know, it didn't look good enough, but I was going to try to compete one more time. And we tried to repair the pack twice and it wouldn't hold. I trained hard and then I tore an ab muscle, so I have now a ruptured ab.
But
You know,
just to
I
be clear,
pushed,
you were 50 years old in
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Wow. That,
50.
that's impressive, though.
Yeah, but you know, when I look at myself, you know, people look at that, go, wow, you look great. I
Right.
look at myself, but I see the 25-year-old
Right.
who weighed 230
Yep.
with a 19 and a half inch arm,
Yep.
you know, 5% body fat, 29-inch waist. And
Yep.
I look at that and I go, that's not even close. So I started getting that ego going. And
Oh, well.
you know, I could not get myself in the type of condition I needed without injuring myself to compete again. And when I trained to get that award for Arnold, I pushed myself to huge limits. I was just under 200 on the scale that day, and I was ripped. And if I didn't have a torn ab, I would have taken my shirt off, and you would have seen an amazing physique at
Wow.
57. But with the torn ab, I'll never take that shirt off again.
Is that at the Arnold Classic?
Oh yeah, yeah, that was 2015 Arnold Classic. There were about 400,000 people there. That was recorded on television. It was on the local Ohio, Columbus, Ohio TV there. So it was pretty cool.
Uh, yeah, I'm in awe. I'm in awe. I mean, I've been following Arnold, obviously, for a long time. I mean, I have a very similar story to yours, except I went down to 135. I'm
Wow,
now,
that's cool.
yeah, I was, as my trainer said, he's Buddy Prim. He trained, he's a big trainer, but anyways, he's like, you were a corpse, you're ready to die. And he was right, because I had given up mentally.
Yeah,
That was it. Now
yeah.
I'm doing a little better.
Hey, you
But
look good.
yeah, I'm doing a little better, but you know how it is. It's work. I'm 49, so
You're a kid, Ron. You're a kid.
I,
My training partner is 23. And he tells me to slow down. He can't keep up with me.
all right. So my wife trains with me. She's about 5 years younger than me. She just recovers so fast, and I'm
Yeah,
like, I need to deload. I need
yeah,
time. I'm a
yeah.
mess. But
Well, you're doing all the right things, so you know you're going down the right path.
you know what? I'm like you. I'm trying everything.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
an old New Yorker, and this was like a death sentence to me. I was in the military, etc.
yeah.
So take it further. I mean, because now you took it from your lifting, you're competing, you're getting recognized by Schwarzenegger, you're accepting awards with Lou Ferrigno, you're writing books. But what took you to the MS workouts?
Well,
You're a co-founder, correct?
I'll tell you why I went there. Now, that program was designed by MS professionals. These are not just a bunch of trainers
Okay,
getting together. This was started by a collaboration between the director of physical therapy at the Central Texas Neurology Consultants and Practical Fitness Studios, which is a brick and mortar studio for people that have chronic conditions. So
okay.
these people started this program, saw what I was doing, and then brought me in as the senior fitness director to help them with the programs because I have MS and I have the knowledge of training for over 35 years.
Repeat that again. Now, who started it? Like what? Yeah, bring that story again because this is one of my issues. My wife's a physical therapist, and she helps me out quite a bit. And
Right.
everybody asks me, "Well, what do you do?" I want to do you do, and I'm like, it's not that simple. You need to be evaluated, but you got a collaboration of who? You got physical therapists.
It's the director of physical therapy. It's the director of the team there at the Central Texas Neurology Consultants,
Wow.
which is a clinic there in Austin. And then they also work with Practical Fitness Studios. Now, Practical Fitness Studios is an actual studio where people go and they do a system that is science-based called Steady Pace. And it's amazing. There's nothing like it because the time under tension that they create is by far better than any other program.
Explain that, because I'm so intrigued by that, and I've actually been using that in my workouts lately, where I'm not just jerking weights around anymore and hurting myself. So
Well,
explain that, because that's an awesome concept.
it's an amazing concept. And when they brought it to me and told me about it, you know, the one thing that I said to them is I have been doing slow, steady repetitions and time under tension for years before it became popular now with a lot of the trainers. That's how I trained. But the one thing that I really loved is that they stepped it up. So they keep the time under tension a lot longer than I was doing even. But the great thing is that they're safe. The one important thing that these guys make sure that they do at MS Workouts is safety. That's the first, it's a number one priority. And the slow, steady pace system is the safest means to work the muscle without causing any injury.
I had really terrible foot drop. And one of the biggest problems with all of us with foot drop is tripping and injuring ourselves. And I was constantly catching my left foot on a carpet or walking and just tripping. What I did is I exercised specifically for foot drop. And I did certain things that will enable me to strengthen the foot and the shin going down and all of the nerves and the tendons around the foot. Now I don't trip anymore. I'm able to lift my foot higher than I was before, even though I have foot drop.
Because the steady pace system, as you see it, when you know, if you go in and start going to the free strength camp that we have, you'll see how it works. But it's a very slow movement. It's impossible to hurt yourself. And the great thing is Jeff God, who's the head trainer, and he's been doing this for 10 years with them, he walks everybody through it step by step by step. He's there guiding you in every video. They've got really cool graphics, which I love about it. So it's visually appealing.
It's a great website.
You know, there's a clock, so you're watching your time. This is the most thought out workout program for anyone without MS. And let me say this, Ron.
Yes.
I am approached constantly by people that have all these great MS workouts and, you know, let me show you how to do it.
Right.
The reason that I partnered with these guys and why I put my name on this is because I could stand by the effectiveness, the science behind it, the safety behind it, and the fact that they make it fun and visually appealing and professionally done. There's nothing out there. And I won't mention names of other training programs that they have out there because I won't do that. Well, you know, the great thing, as I said, is these guys have taken the time to do this right. And when I looked at this, I looked at it with a fine-tooth comb and I said, can I do this? I went to Austin. These guys were great enough. They flew me into Austin. And by the way, the team of people there are not only professional and experts at what they do, but they're the nicest group of people you'll ever want to work with.
Amazing.
They brought me there. I went through the program. And let me tell you, it was harder than the workouts where I'm squatting 400 pounds. When I was done, I said, holy mackerel. Now I know why you've slowed it down to the pace that you have. And then I've adapted what I'm doing, even in my workouts, to do what they're doing. But it's by far the best program I've ever seen for MS.
How's your recovery with MS doing something like that?
Because they do it in a slow pace, and because you only have to do it 2 or 3 times a week, you have enough recovery time.
Very good.
So they're smart, and they know scientifically how much the body, especially with MS, can handle. And another reason why they brought me in is because I have the disease. So we could bounce things back and forth. They're very open to hearing the things that I say, and I'm open to hearing the things they say. We collaborate together, and we make sure that what the people are getting, the MS community is getting, is perfect for them in not only the results that they'll get, but the recovery, and not overtraining themselves and causing any type of damage.
Right.
They're very, very cautious on making sure that every client is cool, and they make very good points of making sure that air conditioning is very low during the workout, making sure you're hydrated, and if you need it, putting a cooling vest or a cold towel around your neck to keep that body temperature down. But all of this is there, and this free strength camp that we're offering for everybody for 7 days has not only the nutrition, but it has the stretching, and it has all the exercises. So it's well-rounded. So when you go in there and you see what you're not just getting a piece of it, and then you've got to try to figure it out. Everything is there. It's just, it's handed to you.
I'm just really impressed that this is a neurological center, that they're taking the bull by the horns, and they're doing an approach that it's not done. It's just not done. You know, I got to go in the wheelchair. I mean, I got to go into the gym sometimes with a wheelchair because I'm just tired, but I just go anyways. But I never see anybody with MS. I never see anybody in a wheelchair. I ask you one question, because Ashton Embry, he made that movie, Living Proof. Did you change? Oh, so you know, good.
Yeah, Matt, I'm in it.
You're in it.
I'm in the movie.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm embarrassing myself. I'll watch it again. I watched it like numerous times, but I didn't realize you're in it. All right.
Yeah.
So what he's asking is, did you do anything in your diet?
Oh, absolutely. I literally, I follow Dr. Wahls. Dr. Wahls, I'm working.
You're a Wahls warrior.
Well, you know, the funny thing about that is she works with a group of MS bikers, people that ride bikes. And I'm working with them, and I've helped them to work on some fitness programs. I spoke for them at one of their conventions in Kansas City, and Dr. Wahls did she did a video talking about the importance of nutrition and exercise. So I'm connected with her also on Facebook.
Nice.
From what I understand, she's right here in my area, so I've got to get with her. But I follow pretty much the diet that she has. I did meet with Matt Embry. He came to my home when we did the movie, and we had a very lengthy talk. It wasn't just film. I love Matt. He's a great guy. I support everything that Matt is doing, and I can't thank him enough for doing the things that he does. But he's very educated, and there were some things that he and I really went back and forth on, because I have a degree in nutrition, but there's things with MS that are a little bit different than just good nutrition. So following what the Embrys do, following Dr. Wall and getting her kind of protocol into my regimen was very important for me. But I tweak things, and I do things that work for me as well. And as you know, MS is such an individual disease that what can be inflammatory for me maybe won't be for you, and vice versa. So you've got to experiment. So I'm training people all over the world online. I train people here personally. I work with them, and I talk to them the first thing about diet and what they're doing. And I tell them, you know, you have to make yourself a little bit of a guinea pig, and you have to try different things. But I tell them all, start with the best bet diet, which is the Embrys, or get on the Wahls protocol. One of those, and then go from there and try to figure out what is working for you the best.
You know, David, I was afraid to ask you about diet because I didn't think you're on board, but you're like way ahead than I ever could think of. And now, yeah, you just gained so much respect from me. I mean,
I appreciate that. You know, one of the things that I have to say, because my wife is a nurse and she pushes me to really do things very, very smartly.
But I got one of those too.
Yeah. You know, she saw the torn pec and the torn ab, and you know, and she pushes me not to do too many things, you know, the wrong way with the ego. So when it came to dieting, I dug into my own education, and I said, okay, there's got to be a correlation between diet and inflammation. And I did a lot of my own investigating. And then, of course, I found Dr. Wall, and I found, you know, Matt Embry and all different things. The one thing I don't like is I don't like some of the high fat, zero carb, really high fat, where they're telling you to eat anything that's fat.
Yeah.
I don't go for that, because I think no matter what, you have to eat healthy. Even if you're going down to the ketosis level,
Right.
it has to be a healthy ketosis. I don't believe in eating a bunch of, lard and bacon,
I try to explain to people that all the time. It's called a well-formulated ketogenic diet. And even Wahls, I've lectured for her a few months ago, and just talking to her privately. The research now is showing level 2, which is more a paleo.
Yes.
And level 3, which is more keto. That neither one of them are showing benefits over another. That they're both good. So I'm
inflammation. Ron, it's all inflammation.
Inflammation. And what you said, it depends on you. Some people do great on keto. I do great on keto. I got my speech back. I couldn't speak before. But other people, they do keto, they feel like crap.
They can't. I have people that come to me from the keto diet, and they can't get to the gym. And what I do is I add some carbs in. I do a few things with them, and their energy level goes through the roof. Okay. So, go figure it out. Everybody's different. Just like, I was with the neurologist today, and I have lesions in my cervical spine.
Okay.
And he said to me, technically, from what he's seen, I should be in a wheelchair. He said the damage is tremendous there. And he said, this is why I can't feel my arm on the left side, and why I have constant tremors inside. Like I feel like I'm a vibrating phone all day long. He said that you can't fix because of the damage. I disagree, because I just came back from stem cells, and some of that is fixing. So we'll see as time goes by how much of the damage the stem cells can actually repair, what it does for me, and what the possibilities are. One thing I learned from 4 years ago is I went and I got stem cells, and I did the fat stem cells where they took them from me and sent it out to the Caymans. They put them in there.
Yeah.
What I did is I got home and I thought I was Superman because I felt great.
Okay.
But the stem cells did not last, because those type of stem cells that are spun from the fat of your own body will not produce long-term benefits. They maybe can produce short-term. But I jumped on the bandwagon and I said, oh my gosh, I'm cured. And, I thought I was going crazy in the gym. By the 4th month, when the symptoms started coming back, boy, that hit me like a wall right in the face. Hey, I felt great, and now I think I have no symptoms and I'm good, and now they're back. That was almost worse than just not having any of the relief. So now that I'm getting some of these reversal of symptoms again from this new stem cell, which is cord blood from the umbilical cords, I'm not running around telling everybody I'm cured again. I'm telling everybody I'm cautiously optimistic. We will see what happens over the next few months. But right now, Ron, from those stem cells, I'm jumping up and down. I'm squatting over 400 pounds again. I could actually feel this arm when I scratch it, and I couldn't do that a month ago. My left leg has got complete feeling pretty much back, and my coordination is a lot better. So, fingers crossed,
Sure.
this thing's going to continue to work.
You try everything. Where did you get those? I hate to get off topic, but
yeah, I went to there's a clinic called DVC STEM in the Cayman Islands. It's run by Dr. Lou Kona. I've known Lou now going on 5 years. Extremely reputable. He's one of the pioneers of stem cells, and he's the one that told me that he did not believe the fat cells would last and do what it needed to do. But when he started working with the umbilical cord blood, he said to me, this is going to work. I believe this is going to work because of what I've seen. So we flew back out there and I did it. They're working with anybody that knows me that has MS. They're drastically discounting the fees. So there's a lot of people going to Panama and Mexico spending 25,000 or more. It's not like that with DVC STEM. So if anybody's interested, they could find it's on my Facebook, their link. they could contact them. I'm not a medical doctor, and I'm not here to push anything.
Yeah,
but,
that's a good point. We're just providing education. I'm not giving any medical advice either.
Right.
David, this is only for education. This is just for conversation.
Right. And they should go and find out for themselves, if they feel that doing that type of stem cell will work.
One question just for David. He asked about that liberation therapy where they go in your neck like Matt had. Is that something you were interested in? Never did. Okay.
No. I know Matt. When Matt saw me a few years ago and he was doing the film, he had told me about it, and he was doing well with it. Right. I had mixed feelings, and again, everybody's different. So,
right.
It maybe works for some people, but I've heard a lot of people that it did not work for. So I didn't go down that road. I feel that the stem cells are the way to go because it's rejuvenating my whole immunity and starting to work in fixing things that I'm not sure that doing that other procedure would work. So not that I doubt it. If there are people that get results, great.
You do what you do, and that's all you can do. So let's go back a little bit, because how did you find Wahls? And I don't want to keep you too long, but how did you?
Somebody recommended her. When I was investigating for myself, it was someone that sent me her book. It was actually a very good friend of my wife who sent the book to me, and I had already started to find out some things about her. But that kind of got me to really dive into who she was and what she was doing. Yes. And, my hat's off to her because the diet literally basically got her out of the wheelchair. Now, I don't know how many people the diet will do that for, but I will say that the diet does make a huge difference in inflammation.
It changed my life. Am I in a wheelchair as much as before? No. Can I speak now? Yeah. Can I do things I never could do? Yeah. So am I going to take that and run? Yeah, I'm with it. And I feel great.
Good.
So whatever. So I don't eat pizza and donuts. All right. No problem.
Yeah. I have my cheat days. I will say, I'm typical, I'm here in Idaho looking for that New York slice of pizza.
You're not going to find it.
No.
I asked somebody, I'm in Atlanta for good seafood. They said Jersey.
Yeah. So. or in the Bronx. I mean, where's that place in the Bronx we used to go to that had all the best seafood? It's it's so many years ago.
The South Sea Street Sport, and then you got Peter Luger. But anyway, so all right, so now you're doing the diet. When you first approach it, it's got to be so foreign. You're like, what do you mean? I got to eat this. I got to eat that.
Well, not really. Not because of my life as a bodybuilder.
Yes,
I ate pretty much the foods that she was saying. The one thing that I didn't do is I didn't eat enough of the things that she was saying. And there are some things that I was eating that I shouldn't, that were inflammatory, that I didn't know about. And even Matt had told me about whey protein. I was drinking two whey protein.
Oh, that's where you're in the movie. Now I remember you.
Yeah. All right. And then Matt's going, don't drink that. And I go, why not? It's great. And he goes, no, it's milk. And I'm going, really?
I grew up
on that. I'm a nutritionist.
I grew up on that. I just thought it was the best thing since sliced bread, but it's industrial waste from what I understand now.
Yeah.
All right. So now you're doing the diet and all. Now enter exercise. So, I always tell people about exercise, and I think people overlook, if you really read her book, it resonated with me that she was exercising with E-stim. I mean, hours and hours and hours a day, every day. And so as I keep telling people, it's not just the food. The food is great. You got to do the food. But you gotta move, right? So I talk to people about stem cell migration and testosterone release and human growth, like all this stuff that we get for free from working out, right? I mean, what's your take on that?
Well, here in my book, the Everyday Health and Fitness with Multiple Sclerosis, there's 3 keys to fitness.
Okay.
There's mindset, which is mental fitness.
Right.
There's exercise. And there's nutrition. Okay, without number 1, without the mindset, number 2 and 3 don't work. Okay. So you can get up in the morning, and if your attitude is not right and you're not continually putting in your head that I'm going to do this,
Yes.
eventually what happens is you fade off and you don't do it. So number one is getting the mindset. Excuse me. Once you do that, the nutrition is extremely important. But like you say, and you hit it nail right on the head, nutrition does not work without activation of the bloodstream, the muscles, and everything working together. Yes, it makes some form of difference in inflammation, but without exercise, you're missing the third part of how you're going to beat this disease. So it all works together. You cannot have the greatest mindset, eat like crap and not work out and be fantastic. And you can't have the greatest mindset, eat well, not exercise and be 100%, or have the greatest mindset and exercise and eat like crap and expect to get the results. It doesn't work.
That's
It has
profound.
to be together.
It's a 3-part. It's profound.
Yep.
So there's
And,
more.
and with MS, and I want to make this very, very clear to people, because people look at me and I'm here with 18.5-inch arms, and I'm in there training, squatting 400 pounds, and I'm going to go get another Lifetime Achievement Award in another month. I'm not telling people to do that. I don't want you, as someone with MS, to try to be me. You have to be you. But to be you, you have to find the goal that's going to work for you. And in that goal has to be mental fitness, nutrition, and exercise. And the best program above anything for MS is the MS Workouts program, period. So if you're going to have the right mindset, you're going to go, I'm going to conquer this, I'm going to beat it,
Yes.
I'm going to eat right, you need to get into a program. And that program of exercise, in my mind, and my proof by people that have trained in doing it and people that I'm working with, is the MS Workout Steady Pace System is the only thing that I would recommend 100% that I know will work every single time you do it.
So with that steady state, is that all because it contributes to neuroplasticity, nerve growth, and
Absolutely.
So let's break down the system, because I'm really intrigued by my wife as a physical therapist for over 20 years, is very impressed. So your program has a general program, but also has symptom specific foot drop, hand strength improvement. I'm sure more than I'm forgetting.
Well, the program is extremely flexible, because if you've got issues and you need to develop the core, and even if you don't have the issues, everybody needs to develop the core. But some people have a weak core. We actually have a weak core level. We have a regular core level. We have a level for you for the full body. We have a specific drop foot exercise program. So it's flexible. You go in there and you see what you need and you create a program. Now you can work with your physical therapist. You work with someone like your wife, and she goes in there and says, okay, these are the exercises, or you can do it yourself. But we just stepped it up a notch, and we now even have personalized. So if you, Ron, say, hey, Dave, I want you personally to work with me and develop my program, there is a way for us to do that. Wow. It's not an easier way to do it, because it takes a lot more work on my side and your side. Yeah. But the other way of doing it, where you just go in on the monthly service, is you could go in there and actually find the weaknesses and the strength that you have and create a program that suits you. And then you could cycle it and change it so you never get bored. And that's another great thing, is the flexibility.
Well, let me break it down for folks, because they don't think they need to be squatting 400, 500 pounds or lifting weights. You guys use steady state with either body weight or exercise bands, very light.
Yes. The steady pace system is used with TheraBands, and we find that is enough resistance for most people. Now, look, if somebody comes to me and says, I want to do bodybuilding, and I'll tell you, I had a gentleman named Ryan Mills, who's an amazing guy with MS, came to me years ago. And he's got his own MS group. It's Being Positive, and it's MS. It's really great. But Ryan came to me and said, David, I want to win a transformational challenge at my gym. So I said, who's competing? He said, all healthy people. So I said, you're the only one with MS or a disability? Yes. okay, Ryan, you want to win? We're going to make you win. I worked a program with him. It pushed him to limits that I would not push a normal person. When he was struggling, we pulled back, but I constantly worked with him in diet, mindset, and the exercise program. The guy won the challenge and beat everybody at the gym. So I will say that if you came to me, Ron, tomorrow and you said, I want to compete, I can get you there. But there's things that you have to do. And with MS, it's can be very, very challenging. And it's not a simple, here's a bodybuilding program, follow what Arnold did. Does not work that way. So it's a very, very different road to go.
Got something called genes that I don't have, but anyway.
Well, something, yes and no, because I've got some great friends that won John Defendis, Mr. USA, Tom Terwilliger, Mr. America. These guys were skinny guys without the genes, man, and they got in the gym. And this is in my era, and I would watch these guys. I never, aspired to be Mr. America. I aspired to own gyms, and I did. These guys were aspiring to be champions. And despite the genetics, these guys became monsters.
Well, see, I started, I didn't have any, when I was diagnosed, I was given 3 pamphlets, said, all right, which drug do you want? And good luck.
Yeah.
And so after I got done being depressed and kicking the can and doing all that stuff and realizing, all right, I'm still alive, I started crawling on the floor. My friend who's a power lifter, Matt Hearn, he's trying to break the record at age 50. Now, he doesn't have MS, but he follows Wahls protocol. He eats the liver. He does all the things that you said. Because he's like, well, he sent me an article. He's like, well, which is more nutrient dense, liver or cal? He's like, liver. So he eats liver like 5 times a day. 5 times a week. I'm sorry. And so he was the one. He's like, all right, you're eating right. You're doing all this stuff right. Why are you on the couch? Work out. I'm like, I can't. He's like, yeah, you can. I don't care what you do and move your right. So he got me started. So I think what you've made available in your group is absolutely incredible. When I heard about you guys, I was like, oh no, this is a big deal. This is a big deal.
Yeah, again, I go back to who I'm working with. When you have people that have years and years of knowledge, of education, of experience, working with people with MS, and they're smart enough to reach out to a guy like me who has 35 plus years experience as a trainer educator and has MS, then you know that you're working with the right group of people. There's nothing that these guys do that is off to the side or wrong. It is perfectly down the aisle of helping people with MS beat the disease through exercise and nutrition. It's just the right way to go for the people that I recommend and the people I work with. I work with a lot of people, like I said, one-on-one in all different countries, and I do some private things with them. And I immediately, after doing what I need to do to get them where they need to be, I put them right on the MS Workouts program, and they go on that monthly service. Because, there are people that I need to work with to get them mentally ready so that they understand, and I've got to kick them a little bit on the diet. So I do that before I get them on the MS Workouts program. But I'm telling you, it is by far the only way for someone with MS to exercise.
You're giving people hope again. And, you lose hope. I got to tell you, I got a following and a little bit through the Wahls protocol. People lose hope. It's very dangerous.
Absolutely. Well, that's the killer. I'm working with 2 people, and you can see these things. I hope everybody on here joins my MS Fitness Challenge gym group on Facebook. I'll let anybody, it's a closed group, and any of your people, I'll let them in. It's not a paid thing. It's just Facebook, and we talk, and I have a lot of exercise and nutrition.
Can you repeat that again?
It's MS Fitness Challenge gym.
Okay. All right. That's MS. Okay.
And so what we do there is we talk about a lot of different things, and we talk about exercise, we talk about mindset. But on there, you're going to see I'm working with 2 women. One is a 74-year-old woman who is going downhill and really doing really bad. Right now, she is standing up and down out of a seat without any help. She's walking around and unloading her own car. She's sewing every day now. And this is someone
Wow.
who was falling
Wow.
apart. And
Wow.
just by me working with her and setting her on the path, the hope is there. She says to me she's excited to get up and go to the gym. Then I'm working with another woman who's just under 60, and she uses a walker. In my first workout with her, I had her on a seat with a ball between her legs, rising her hands up and standing up. And now I helped her get up.
Wow.
The first 2 sets that I did with her, I literally had to kind of pull her up. By the third set, her muscle was already being told to do it, and she did it more 50% on her own. Now she has hope. So these people will then transition into the MS Workouts program so they could do it at home online, and they don't need to pay me all this money to meet them at the gym.
Okay, so just to back up a little bit, the msworkouts.com. I mean, you could potentially get workout in a hospital room, in a nursing home, in your bedroom,
Yep.
in your living room.
Anyway,
You need a computer and you need exercise bands.
well, they send you the bands when you sign up.
Okay.
They send you the band. They send you a journal.
You have
You
no.
know, they're there, so you could go party in Hawaii
Yeah.
and still get your workout. The great thing is you pick up your phone and it's on your phone. You know, when we were growing up, Lon, you know, and I'm old, I've got you beat by, you know, a good amount of years, but we didn't have smartphones. I didn't even have a computer.
No.
So there was no working out from a phone or on a computer. Now you have MS Workouts anywhere you go in the world.
So you could take anybody at any fitness level, no matter if you're in bed bound or if you're running, and you could take advantage of what your group and you have put together. So
Absolutely.
that's why I want to get across, because I got so many folks I speak to. They're either in a nursing home or they're in their bed or they barely get out of their wheelchair, and they're like, "What do I do?" All right, because number one, you only get so many physical therapy visits,
Right.
and the physical therapist. My wife's a little different because she's married to me, but they're not doing what you're doing. They're giving you an exercise program, and then they're reevaluating in a few months, and they're like, you know, and then you're done. Out the door you go. So I mean, not to put against physical therapists at all. I'm not trying to do that, but you're.
No, there's some great. Listen, we have one that works with us that's phenomenal. You know, I mean, we have great physical therapists, but there's limits. Like you said, there's limits to the physical therapy.
Right.
After that, what do you do?
That's
what
what
do you do?
because,
Now you have something.
okay, because that's the physical therapy, right? And so I probably should rephrase that, because my wife could look at me and say, "All right, your anterior tibialis is weak, or your core
Right.
and your glute med," and so she can nail that stuff down. Where I could go to anywhere, and they're not going to know that. They're not going to know how to work it, how to strengthen it.
The MS Workouts program is going to let them be able to get in and find what they need to do. And again, we're here to support everybody. You know, and I could get emotional about this, really. I know I'm a big tough guy with a lot of tattoos.
No, I could see that, man. You're doing God's work, man. I could feel it.
I could get emotional in what I'm going to say to you, because I have dedicated my life to helping as many people with MS that want to be in shape and want to beat this disease as I can. I'm reaching out. My charity, MS Fitness Challenge, is in Finland. It's in Australia. We've got trainers in the UK. We have a gym in the UK. We're in Germany. We're in Slovakia. We've got people all over the world that I'm working with, because my goal is to make sure that anybody that wants to get fit has the ability to do it, whether they can afford it or they cannot. Now, my charity does things to help people that can't afford it. MS Workouts is a very low-cost way to work out on a monthly basis and having 24/7 access wherever you are in the world. We've made it so it's affordable. So when somebody says to me, "I cannot afford $25 or whatever a month," I say to them, let's start looking at what you're spending your money on, because this is part of something that's going to keep you alive and moving. Now, there's other things that I do through my charity that are completely free, that I have access to for people as well. So I want everybody to be able to connect with msworkouts.com. I want them to get on that 7-day free strength camp. I want them on there. And then let's go where we need to go with every single person that you're connected to. If they can afford and they could manage to do the MS workouts every month, everybody should do that. If somebody comes to me and says, listen, I am on such a tight budget, I could barely pay for my food, how am I going to do something? Have them reach out to me and my charity will help them. So I'm here to do that.
You're an incredible guy. You're awesome.
I appreciate that.
Just to make it clear. So what David's talking about is that if we go to msworkouts.com/strength camp, there's a 7-day free trial. Is that it?
Yes.
Where you can kind of get your feet wet and see what's all about.
Yeah, you see the nutrition, you see the stretching, you see the exercises. You literally go in there and nobody asks you for a credit card. So I don't want anybody to be afraid, oh my gosh, I'm going to go in, they're going to get my credit card and then they're going to bill me. Nobody, we're not even going to ask you for a credit card. So there's no gimmick to this. This is, we want you to see what we're doing and we want you to at least get in there and understand what the potential is, what the possibilities are, and where there's hope working with a program like this.
Very good. I encourage everybody to go and try this. I've tried it. My wife's for it. I'm for it. I work out 5 days a week, sometimes 6. This is a big deal. I'm all for Dr. Wahls, 150%. And I know she's for diet and exercise as much as Embry's. And so what you're doing is phenomenal. I mean, we could really, so many people are going to benefit from this. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly how much it is a month. I was thinking $19, but I may be wrong. So I don't want to be.
It could be about $25 a month, depending on coupons and things like that. And we can get you guys some type of discount for the group. We could work that out. But it's in the $25 a month range.
I have 5 kids. You know what these cost me?
Yeah, I know. I have 6 kids.
You do?
Yeah. But they're all grown. They're all grown. But the bank never stops. It doesn't matter how old they are. It's always, I'm the ATM machine.
I got from 4 to 18. Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm expecting.
We've got 20 to 32.
20 to 32.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So you're a little other end of this, but you know what, David, I am just so excited that you came on, and I just know that there's Bobby. There's been so many people I've been looking for programs. They've been like, what can you read?
Bobby and I are good friends. I've sent her workouts. She needs to get on MS workouts.
That's awesome. She's one of the people I had in mind when I was doing this interview, because I wanted people to know there are options. It's not just, it's not just what the doctors are telling us, because, I have a lot of doctors, neurologists, but I got to tell you, they're as frustrated as we are. So what you're giving is real solutions in unison with the diet and lifestyle. So and the mental part, it's just a win-win-win. As somebody said, the trifecta. Even as Dr. Embry said, I'm going to put his back up, because he's talking about a 3-prong approach, important with diet, exercise, and mindfulness. So I just commend you.
I see Ashton up there, and I've got to say, I've never met you, Ashton. Your son Matt is one of the best people I've ever met. Forget about MS, just as a human being and as a godly man.
Well, I've never met Matt because he was busy, but I met Ashton and his wife a few months ago. They're incredible. So there's a reason why Matt's incredible.
Yeah. Well, I see that. And I'm going to do some more things with Matt in the future. I'm actually speaking to one of his marketing people that helps him. We're going to be working more closely together, because I'm so for what he does, not only on the diet part of it, but how he encourages people and the things that he says to people, that connecting with what I'm doing on the fitness end, we're going to be able to really help a lot of people together. So I'm excited about that.
My word is hope, and I didn't have hope for a while, and it really, excuse me, but it sucked.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
It was not good, and I have hope again. And And so what you've done now is you've brought this to the forefront. This is wonderful. I encourage everybody to go check out that site. I've never, ever, ever pushed a product, but I'm pushing this one because I really, really believe in it. This is my life now. I exercise, I eat, I take care of my kids, and I work with my wife. So exercise for me, I just know it is part and parcel to the Wahls protocol. It's part and parcel to Embry's a diet plan. So, I just can't encourage it enough. And if you're offering that 7-day, let me put that back up, that 7-day way to try it out, I just encourage everybody to jump on it. It's a strength camp, but also know on a site, which I was very encouraged to see, there's specific exercises. For example, some people have a weak hand. Well, now we can work on that. Or some people can't walk because their toe keeps catching, their anterior tibialis isn't working. Well, now there's ways that we could strengthen that, or we could cause some neuroplasticity along with the diet, just to put everything together. The mindfulness part we'll have to talk to you later about, because that's a big deal for me.
Yeah, well, the mindset is something that I speak really highly about in my book, but I'm doing right now, I'm almost finished with a very comprehensive training program for trainers. I do have a course called the MS Fitness Essentials course with the National Federation of Professional Trainers, but that's a smaller intro. Now we're doing a very, very comprehensive certification. And one of the things that I talk about with the trainers is the mental part of MS. And if they don't get tuned in to their client's mental capacity and where they're at, they'll never be able to work with them, because, there's people that walk in jumping ready to go, and there's people that just, hey, they're down, but they still get to the gym. There's a different level.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go back any further, but when I used to try to work out before the diet and my mind wasn't right, the only thing I could do was get on the elliptical, and literally 4 minutes in, I would have tears running down. I just knew I had to do it, but it hurt so bad, so much, like I just wasn't ready to do that yet. Yep. So what you're talking about is a whole different thing. You're talking about diet and mindfulness and the movement. And so I think you can't have one without the other.
Absolutely. And, I tell people, if you're struggling and you need that type of kick in your rear end, yes, then message me, make sure you're connected to my group. Let me help you through that.
How do you do it? There's thousands of people. I mean,
Ron, I do it. I am literally talking to people. I get up early in the morning at 6:30 when I get to the gym. I get my workout done, and then I train some people that I specifically want to work with instead of my trainers. We're doing a 12-week challenge here in Boise, and we're halfway through it. We have 8 people in. I'm working with 3 people myself. And then I go and I do emails and live calls and Facebook, and and I think by the end of the day, I must talk to a couple hundred people. So
yeah, my wife was very upset with me. She says, this is taking over your whole life, and I'm like, well, I used to be working, but now I'm not. So now I'm doing this,
and I'm still working to some extent. I'm doing a TV series with Lou Ferrigno, so I'm working on a few things with him. And, it's like the juggling act, you gotta make a living.
I'm so starstruck, but how is Lou these days? I mean,
oh man, he's great. He when you look at the pictures of him, when he even made his comeback, and I think it was 93, and he entered the Masters Olympia, the guy looked like he was like 200 and almost 300 pounds. Now he's about 275.
Yeah, the one thing I wanted to say, and it just came to my mind the other minute, a lot of the folks here are dealing with other autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's, which is a thyroiditis, like a hypothyroid. I mean, the myriad of different problems, but I don't see why any of them, if they're following the Wahls protocol, couldn't bring this into their plan.
Well, absolutely. I've worked with people that have Parkinson's, that have cerebral palsy, that have muscular dystrophy. A chronic condition is a chronic condition. It all has its own challenges. Eating right, having the right mindset, and exercising is going to work. And I encourage people, not because it's my book, but I encourage people, no matter what, to go and buy that book. It's inexpensive on Amazon. It's Everyday Health and Fitness with Multiple Sclerosis. But you could take that book and use it for anything, even people that are not chronically ill. I have a woman that has MS that bought the book. Her two sons are champion powerlifters, and she just did a testimonial. They read my book and they said, "Mom, this book is not just for MS. This is dead on for anybody that wants to work out." So I encourage anyone with any type of condition that if you don't know who to reach out to me. I'll help you. Even if you don't have MS, I'll steer you in the right direction. So don't give up because you have Parkinson's, because you have muscular dystrophy, because you've got cerebral palsy. You can still have a active life, you could have a productive life, and you can live a life of fitness and exercise and nutrition and wellness, and just fight that disease until you can't anymore. That's all. There. Reach out to me if there's questions and things that people want to ask me privately. They can email me, they could private message me. I answer every single email. I might not get to it today, but I will get to it within 1 or 2 days, and I will answer questions.
There's a reason MS Workouts is being used by patients in clinics across the country. And you'll discover that reason when you begin to see the first results from exercise. You'll begin to understand that you have the power to change your body, to gain control of aspects in your life that you thought were lost forever. Don't let MS keep you down. It's time to fight back. It's time to take the fight to the muscles. This is only the beginning. There's so much to gain and achieve. We'll see you soon.